I learned the hard way that the people we love can become complete strangers in the blink of an eye. My husband passed away unexpectedly a month ago, leaving me with a mountain of debt and a quiet, grieving teenage daughter. Yesterday morning, I finally forced myself to clean out his old car so I could sell it to save our house. I never expected that a tiny piece of plastic hidden in the dashboard would shatter every single memory I had of our marriage. The damp autumn air felt heavy as I sat in the driver's seat, surrounded by the faint scent of his cologne. My hands shook as I emptied the registration papers, but then my fingers brushed against a small black flash drive hidden in the dark corner. It had a messy label with a single letter written by a hand that definitely did not belong to my husband. A strange knot tied itself in my stomach, and I suddenly felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff. Upstairs in his private home office, the silence felt suffocating as I booted up my laptop and plugged the device into the side port. A single folder appeared on the screen, packed with years of secret emails, medical receipts, and photos. The first letter I opened began with a message from a woman thanking him for saving her life. My heart stopped as I scrolled down to see pictures of my husband smiling warmly next to a beautiful boy who shared his exact eyes. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow, making it hard to breathe as I stared at the hidden life he kept from us. He had been secretly sending thousands of dollars every month to an apartment in the city while my daughter and I struggled to pay our bills. My 17-year-old daughter, Nora, walked in and saw the screen, immediately accusing me of invading his privacy. She screamed that I was trying to ruin his memory, slamming her door and leaving me alone in the dark. The next morning, I drove out to the unfamiliar neighborhood listed in the secret housing documents to see the truth for myself. I parked across the street from a small apartment building and watched a young woman walk out with the little boy. Seeing them in person made the nightmare real, because the child moved and smiled just like the man I buried. I sat frozen in my car, unable to move or speak, feeling the last remaining pieces of my old life completely cave in. When I returned home, Nora was waiting for me with the flash drive in her hand, her face stained with fresh tears. She demanded to know if her father had another family, her voice cracking with a mixture of intense anger and deep heartbreak. I tried to comfort her, but she turned her anger toward me, screaming that she hated me for destroying her perfect image of him. Within 10 minutes, she packed a bag and left to stay with her grandmother, leaving the house completely empty. Desperate for answers, I searched his desk and found a hidden key that belonged to a local bank vault downtown. The clerk led me into a private room where I unlocked a heavy metal box containing a sealed envelope addressed directly to me. My late husband wrote that he made a terrible mistake during a lonely time in our marriage, resulting in the birth of the little boy. He begged me to forgive his cowardice and asked me to secretly watch over the child after he was gone. The letter changed everything, replacing my anger with a strange sense of clarity as I realized how heavy his secrets must have been. I drove back to the city the following afternoon, determined to face the woman who shared his hidden life. When she opened the door, she looked terrified, but she gracefully invited me inside and made a warm pot of tea. We did not argue or shout, because we both realized we were just two different women trying to survive the wreckage of the same man. She gently explained that she never meant to hurt our family, and that my husband was simply a protector who kept them safe. I handed her the final documents he left behind, realizing that fighting her would not erase the past or bring him back. We agreed to handle the future quietly and kindly, making sure the children would not have to suffer for the mistakes of adults. For the first time in weeks, the heavy weight in my chest began to lift. Nora came back home 3 days later, dropping her heavy bags on the floor and asking if I had finally met the other family. I sat her down and explained that they were not evil people, but rather ordinary human beings caught up in a very complicated situation. She cried in my arms, mourning the flawless hero she thought she knew, while I whispered that his mistakes did not mean he loved her any less. We both accepted that our family was broken, but we were finally ready to rebuild on the truth.